Hello there, this is Miss Scott Makes Art, and on this video here I'm going to show you a few colored pencil techniques. So in these boxes here there are different techniques that we are going to try today, and after we do our techniques we are going to use them to add some shading and value and realism to our cupcake and donut here. So you can pick what colors you want to use, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick a darker color so you can see on my video here. The first way we can use colored pencils is doing different types of pressure. So in this first box here, we're going to do a light pressure. You're just really lightly coloring with your colored pencil. The next box is heavy pressure. You're going to press down with your colored pencil. That's our first two, and you can even use medium pressure when you're coloring with colored pencil. Our next one is a grade 8. So we are going to change colors. And a grade 8 is when you go from heavy pressure to light or dark to light. So I am going to and if you have this that happens, it kind of doesn't look as smooth. You can just go back and fill it back in. The point is to go from dark to light. The next one is a grade 8 with shading. We're going to do the same thing. But now I'm going to take a black colored pencil and add a few darker values. I'm going to go back over it and kind of repeat the same process. But that's one way you can create shadows and darker values in your artwork. The next two we have are hatching and cross hatching. Hatching is when you are drawing lines in one direction. And cross hatching is when you are drawing lines in two directions. Sometimes this is great for making texture like fur or like a basket texture. And one of my favorites is layering. So layering is just when you start with one color and you're going to put another color on top of it. And most of the time when you do this, you want to start with your color that's darker. So I started with a blue and I layered yellow on top of it. Our next one we're going to try is a colorless blender if you have it. If you don't have it, that's fine. So a colorless blender is a pencil that you can use to blend the pigment into the paper. It's just a colorless pencil. But what I'm first going to start with is layering. With my colored pencil, you could use one color or you could use two. I'm just going to use one color for this. And now I'm going to use my colorless blender. And as you can see, it just smooths the pencil out like that. Now we're going to blend two colors together. So it's kind of like the grade 8, but we're going to make one color go from this side and get lighter and lighter, and the other color to go from this side and get lighter and lighter. So they blend together. So from purple to blue, and you want it to have a gradual change. Burnishing is also one of my favorite ones. It kind of uses a combination of layering and blending and your colorless blender, but what I'm going to start with is a couple colors. And then I'm going to use that colorless blender, or you can even use a white colored pencil to burnish. The point is to smooth the pigment out or the wax of the colored pencil and fill in all the texture of the paper and give it a clean, polished look. So you could use a white colored pencil. You could even go over with a lighter colored pencil to do that. So just showing you a couple of examples in this one box here. And if you have a colorless blender, you can use that. And the point of it is to give you a nice polished look. I'm going to keep layering it a little bit. Until you see none of that paper texture. This is just a printout, so the paper's pretty smooth already. The last part you're going to do is try to use some of these techniques to make these look realistic. There's no right or wrong way, but you do want to decide which side your light source is on. And you want to think about even using different colors to make shadows. You could use blue and purple in shadows, not necessarily just black. I'm going to quickly do this and fast forward through this part of the video. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done with my pictures here of the cupcake and the donut. Hopefully you've learned some colored pencil techniques with me today and you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you next time. Thank you again for joining me for this tutorial.